Welcome to the Crazy Happy Podcast. Thank you for dropping in for your dose of crazy happiness and a quick hit of positivity. Welcome to episode 43. I'm your host, Tanya Vetter of TanyaVetter.com. Today's episode is being brought to you by Women Empowerment Training Institute, empowering women and youth through engagement and exposure. Check them out at theweedy.org. Hello, guys. Happy Wednesday. We're calling it, what is it? Whimsical Wednesday, right? I am excited about, actually, today's not a topic. It is a Q&A. Yes, a Q&A. I think I told you guys on another episode about the email address, the Crazy Happy Tribe email address. So it's crazyhappytribe@gmail.com. I'm going to say that again. It's crazyhappytribe@gmail.com. And apparently someone has found the Crazy Happy Tribe email because I've been getting some emails from you guys. Hello. And what I love about today's episode is we're going to actually talk about some questions and hopefully I will have some answers. Now, what I did this time is I jotted down a few of the questions. I grabbed about 5 of them since I like to keep you guys under 10 minutes. So I grabbed about 5 questions from a few of the listeners, and I'm just going to answer them. I didn't make any notes or anything for it. Other than the questions, I don't have my answers prepared because I want it to be more like a chat, So some of the listeners had questions, and they seem to be mostly about my journey, of course. So let's dig into the questions. So one of the questions I got, the first question is from a young lady, and she wants to know what's the first step, or what was the first step in my transformation? What was the first step in my transformation? Well, let me be honest. Well, I'm going to be honest on all of them. Let me be transparent. That's a better word. So let me be transparent. The first step in, I don't know about anybody else's transformation, but for my transformation, which I consider to be a spiritual transformation, was that it was not pretty. And I think I can say that for most transformations that are spiritual, involve totally, changing everything and really coming back home to yourself. In the beginning, it's not pretty, which is why I think you end up, morphing into a beautiful being, because it's not good in the beginning, and that's how you know that there's something different. And so it was the same thing for me. I was a teacher for the public school levels, and I was not happy, and I'd done that for 16 years, and I really wasn't being authentic or true to myself because I was doing something that just did not fulfill me on the inside, and I was very unhappy. I didn't like the person I was. And so I began to cry out on the inside, and it became to feel like almost suffocating when you're trying to be someone you're not. Years pass, and either you will physically become sick or you will be outwardly unpleasant to others. And I just think I was a combination of both. And I just made a decision one day that I wasn't going to do it anymore. Did it cost me something? Absolutely. It costed me a lot. So I would say the first step in my transformation is that you don't even know it's your first step. You just know you want to breathe again. And that's the truth. You know you want to breathe again. But the minute that I was able, I was willing to be open to something different. I literally fell on my face and said, I'm willing to see things differently. There's got to be more for me. Then that's when everything started unfolding. But it was a long road. It was not easy. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. All right, so the second question I have is, okay, he wants to know, was it difficult at first? I guess he's talking about, when I first started on this journey, was it difficult and was I alone? Okay, so no, I wasn't completely alone, but you know what? When you're going through that, you will feel like you are alone. So I think part of it is just kind of like hiding, because you're trying to figure out what it is. But what I would say is, if you have a support system, you need to reach out to them. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes our support system, they support probably the old beliefs and the limiting beliefs. So you got to just be careful with that. So I tried to have people who really understood and nurtured what I was needing at the time. And so, of course, that meant that it was maybe one or two people, right? Because you're vulnerable at that time. You're really vulnerable and really honestly trying to figure it out, and you don't have the answers. So, like, you're really vulnerable. So, I would say, yes, it was difficult. Was it worth it? Yes, I wouldn't change a thing. Was I alone? Absolutely not. I had a support system, but it was tricky. Here's the other thing, my support system was not at all like I thought it would be. Actually, new people came into my life that I was just, I didn't even know I was asking for them, but I guess I was, because I ended up meeting new people who resembled the new person I was becoming, right? So don't turn away new people, because you never know who they may be in your life. I'm gonna say that again. Don't turn away new people, because you never know what role they may play in your life. So I hope that answered your question. Number three. See, yeah, she wants to know, what do I now know? So she says, what do you now know that you didn't before? Okay, so that would take forever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you probably the biggest aha. The biggest aha for me is the power of our thoughts. I did not know that our thoughts were literally magnanimous, and like I did not know the power of what we think about. That is probably the largest aha I have experienced and I have found, is that my thoughts literally create what I experience. Yep, that's it. Number four, Jerry wants to know, what about family and friends who don't see it the way you see it? Or what about family and friends who see it differently? Okay, so this is a good question, Jerry, because, okay, so here's the big thing. You can't change your family and your friends. Your journey is your journey, okay? That's big, because I one thing I know is that when we first start learning something new, we want to just convert the whole world, right? We want to go and tell everybody that they've been wrong for trillions and trillions of years, and that is so counterproductive. It is so counterproductive. And so, what I would say is, you have to let people be where they are, and you have to love them. You can never go wrong with love. So, you have to let them be where they are. And the way you inspire others is by your being. It's by your doing, your being. You don't have to tell them anything. You don't have to preach them down to the mountain. you know, just be that space in that place that they need. And then you know what? They'll ask you, something's different. What have you been doing? I noticed something different in you. And then you can tell them what you've been doing differently. But honestly, I found it absolutely counterproductive to just try to shout somebody down and preach somebody down. Um, just let them wonder about the new peace and confidence and love that you have. Just let them wonder about it. And if they want to know more, share it with them. But don't judge them and berate them. I just wouldn't do that. Okay, I hope that answers your question. The next question is a good one too. It says, what do I do when I start to doubt myself and get scared or embarrassed? Okay, so this is a common one, because usually when we are afraid, we're usually afraid that what we want won't happen, which is, embarrassment, or it will happen and we will fail at it. So we're usually afraid of either failure or rejection. So when I start to doubt myself, honestly, I rewind the tape. I go back and look at times that I thought I couldn't do something and I totally did it. I say affirmations to myself. I know you guys get tired of me saying this, and it sounds wonky, but I really do. And I don't know if you even, no matter if you read the Bible, the Quran, um, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever source you read, they are basically affirmations in there. They're declarations and affirmations. That's what I do when I get doubtful. The other thing is, I talk to someone who believes in me. So you have to use that support system. Talk to someone who will remind you of who you are, right? And then what about when you get scared? You said when you get scared of embarrassment. So you guys know from previous episodes, I'm really big on declaring what I want, saying what it is. And, that's just, hey, I'm not worried about, well, what if it doesn't happen? That's not my issue. My whole thing is making sure I am very clear in what I want and I'm flexible in how God gets it to me. And so that is what I would tell you. Don't worry about being embarrassed because to me, honestly, failure is a myth. No one ever really fails. We either get what we expect or we learn something new. So put that one in your pocket. Okay. And here's the last question for today. What if I don't know what I really want? How do I find out what I love to do? How do I find out what's my passion and my purpose? Whew, that was a long one. Okay, so what if I don't know what I really want, and what do I do if I don't know? How do I find out what I love doing? Okay, so let me just wrap this one up together. So here's the thing a lot of people struggle with. How do I know what I was born to do? How do I know? Look, we are all mega multi passionate people, right? We are great at many things. But one of the quick tricks to finding out what really takes your breath away, what you wake up wanting to do, let me ask you this. In your spare time, when you are not forced to think about anything and you have the privilege and luxury of thinking about whatever you want, what is it that you think about? Because that's the thing that you really want and love to do. Now, if you can't do that on a full-time basis, what you need to do is you need to do it on a part-time basis because it balances out what you have to do and what you love to do. So if you have to work your 9 to 5, right? Like I am also an adjunct professor. So, but I also balance it out with what I love to do, which is the entrepreneurial side, right? So you have to ask yourself, okay, when I'm not forced to think about anything particular, what is it that I choose to think about? What gives me pleasure to think about doing? What is it that I love doing with my hands and putting my signature on? What would I be willing to do for free because it just really, really revs me up and I love doing it? It makes me happy. It gives me energy. It lights me up. That's the question. And those are the questions that will lead you to the treasure of your passion and your purpose, right? I hope this Q&A has served you well. I have enjoyed doing the first Q&A. I would love your feedback on the Q&A at crazyhappytribe@gmail.com. Let me say it again. Crazyhappytribe, that's TRIBE, @gmail.com. I want to know, did you like it? Did you get anything out of it? Did it help you? I know we went over 10 minutes, but that's okay, guys. If you don't have your dumping ground journal, why not go to tinyvetter.com and get your dumping ground journal? Don't know what it is? What? Check out episode number 6. Guys, I've enjoyed you. You know what I say. Be light. Be love. Be you.